What up? Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's gonna be a great week. So far we're gapping up pretty large on the SPY and the overall market, up from Friday's close, which was around our 289 level, up to around our 292 level. So this is a prime example recently of what I've been saying and saying that I don't want to swing trade this market. There is no reason for us to be holding overnight in our trading accounts. Listen, there's a difference between holding overnight in our position and our investment accounts, which we can hold for a few weeks. As far as the trading account, which is a little more leveraged, I personally don't see the risk reward lining up. In my opinion, the constant battle and constant pumps across the markets are always seem like they always seem to be fighting the technical trend. Now, we're gonna skip over all of that because you guys know how I feel about trading overnight in this market due to the um, extreme volatility and the overnight gaps. But I want to talk about what we're going to be expecting in today's session and throughout this week. So over the weekend we had this headline. This is what we're talking about. U.S. stock futures rise on global stimulus talk and trade optimism. Daddy Trump tweeted out again, um, saying that the talks are progressing and they're holding private talks and whatnot. Again, there's absolutely no fundamental cause behind this. We've seen this pump come at least 5 to 8 times over the last 6 months. Now, for those of you guys who have been in the chat, know this already. Um, the market always seems to get pumped at the right time, and Trump comes out and gives the markets a little more optimism about this trade deal in China. Now, nothing has happened yet. I haven't heard anything from either side in terms of fundamental change or numbers or what they're going to be working on. I know that they extended the HUA or whatever for 90 days, whatnot. Um, that really doesn't mean much to me personally. Um, Now, I want to focus on our game plan today. And for those of you guys who are new, please ignore all the red lines. These price levels, I promise, they come into very handy positions when we're trading throughout the intraday session. Um, I want to talk about the game plan this week and why I don't feel the need to have other stocks on the swing trade list. Now, when I say that, I don't mean we can't look at stocks for further entries, but as of right now, I don't see the need to be holding overnight. And typically with other stocks, I enjoy and feel more comfortable if I have the opportunity to hold them overnight. When it comes to day trading, you guys know how I like to do it. I would stick to the SPY. The SPY is one of the best vehicles to day trade, and it's so clean, it's so technical. The fluidity of this vehicle is just incredible to day trade, and that's why I always recommend it. Um, I want to talk about a game plan for this. Since we're going to be gapping up around this 292 level, towards the highs, we should be gapping up above our 13 EMA here, which is a very nice gap up. We'll see if the bulls can run with it, but I want to talk about a few of the price levels that are coming up this week. Now, we have my personal opinion that the overall bottom support for this week is gonna have to be this 289.11 level, which comes from this gap here. Um, if you could follow the cursor around, it was also the bottoms of these few sessions here, the top over here, and it was a close on Friday. So that this week is going to be my main support, the 289.11, and we're going to work from there up on the upside. Um, I personally want to watch this market to the upside as our main upside point at the 284.19 level. And last week's high was 284.16. So that's going to be our main upside target on this week. And especially in today's session, if we can manage to get up there, we'll look for a nice little short possibility. Even below that at some of our key levels. If you guys want to write these down, below that 284.19, which is that weekly high and the daily chart resistance, I have 293.41 and 292.28. So both of which are going to be possible upside rejection levels. Now, what I want to focus on today has the hourly chart in mind, um, around this 293 level, which was near last week's high, and into the end of the week on the week prior to last week. Around this 293.41, which is going to be our main resistance point and one of our main upside targets today. If we can get above that at the 293.41, we'll test that high at 294.16. Now, this market has pretty much gone straight up off that multi-day bounce down here. We'll go to the daily chart. We sort of have a bottom in place, between these two candles, and we're testing up in, our consolidated range. Our MACD is a bit oversold. We'll see if the bulls can squeeze out of this and, continue an uptrend. We'll see. Like I said last week, we continued to reject our 13 EMA. So as of right now, I'm pretty much going to be monitoring this. On our key upside levels. And like I said, 293.41 and 294.16. Now, if we decide to roll over, we have a very large gap to fill from today's session back until the 289.11 range, which again was our main downside support for the week. I personally won't be buying calls here at the open. Typically, when we are gapping up above a previous day's value, it is a bullish move, and you could typically run with the gap and go setup. Personally, I think the gap is too large to be taking that setup, given the fact that our stop loss is usually at the previous day's gap fill, which is way down here at 289.11. It's almost 3 points. There's no reason to be taking that trade. You're going to risk 3 points for a possible reward of 1 up until the 293, 1.25 level. Personally, I don't see that reward matching up. We're pretty flat in terms of our trend in the 30-minute chart. I personally think patience is going to pay off big entering this week and waiting until we get to some of our key levels. But we're pretty much flat. Our range is somewhat constricted here on the shorter time frames. We have room to pull back. And if we decide to pull back and still hold this gap, we could look for calls. That's the call situation to be looking for in this market. Not necessarily buying the initial open, but looking for a pullback and monitoring how price is acting towards this 289.11. We have a support down here at 291.27, 290.44, and 289.73 before we get to that 289.11 level. So we're gonna have to watch how we're reacting throughout this session on both the downside and the upside. Today might be a great day to just be patient and monitor the markets and not necessarily force trades, but make sure we get that right setup. And that's something I'm going to be preaching throughout this entire week is waiting for that right time, because that one trade could have a very volatile move after it pierces one of our levels. So I think waiting on the SPY this week is going to be a great setup for us and a great opportunity for our accounts in terms of our game plan on both the upside and the downside. So keep that in mind heading into this week, and keep the headlines in mind as well. Obviously, always have Trump's tweets turned on, because you guys already know how crazy that can have of an impact on the markets. And with that being said, we have our game plan for at least today. Obviously it always updates because we have to react to the ongoing data and how the market's reacting. But like I said, we want to watch that 294.37 on the upside and our 289.11 on the downside, and obviously monitor our levels in between that range, for today's session and throughout the week. So I'll talk to you guys in chat. If you have any questions, always feel free, shoot me a DM, and we'll talk about it. Thanks.